Video is about Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. Let's see the questions. The first question is, under the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986, a child is one who has not completed his which age? The options are 18 years, 16 years, 15 years, 14 years. Can you judge that? Yes, absolutely. 14 years. Who is child? A child is one who has not completed his 14 years of his or her age. Answer D is right. The next question is, the age of adolescent is what? What is the age? The options are the age between 6 to 9, or 13 to 19, or 19 to 24, or 24 to 30. Usually we called the age for adolescent is 13 to 19 years, teenage. B is the right answer. Third question is, the Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986 is an example of which type of legislation? There are four options given. First is regulative labor legislation, protective labor legislation, social security legislation, welfare legislation. So all are similarly is suitable, but the exact answer is, or very apt answer is, protective labor legislation. So the child be protected. So the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986 comes under protective labor legislation. The answer is B. Another question is, as per this act, a child should not be permitted to work between what time? So the options are between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m., between 7 p.m. and 8 a.m., then 6 p.m. and 7 a.m., 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. Already answer is there. B option is right. So 7 p.m. and 8 a.m. As per this act, child should not be permitted to work between evening 7 p.m. to morning 8 a.m. Is overtime work is permissible for a child? Absolutely not. So no is the right answer. B is right. The day specified in notice as a weekly holiday for a child shall not be altered by the occupier more than once in what? 1 week, 1 month, 2 months and 3 months. Here 3 months is the right answer. So the day specified in notice as a weekly holiday for a child shall not be altered by the occupier more than once in 3 months. The next question is, identify the section 2(5) of this act, Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act of 1986. Family, occupier, port authority, establishment. So section 2(5) says about family. A is right answer. Another one, section 2(8), prescribed means prescribed by rules made under which section? Option A says 18, section 18, then B 20, C 3 and D 28. The answer is A, 18. Under 18 section it comes under prescribed by rules made. Another question is, identify section 8 of Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. So what says the section 8 of this act? The options are hours and period of work, notice to inspector, daily hours, weekly holidays, Here, Section 8 of this Act says about the weekly holidays of the children. Answer D is right. 10th question is, the notice specifying the weekly holiday of a child shall be kept displayed permanently. Can you say this? Whether it is true or false? Yeah, it's true. Identify the section of this Act, that is certain other provisions of law not barred. Section 15, Section 16, Section 18, then Section 20. Answer D is right. Section 20 of this Act, that is certain other provisions of law not barred. Then 12th question is, identify Section 3 of Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act. Option A says prohibition of employment of children in certain occupations and processes. B says about part to form committee, then part to amend schedule, then part to appoint chairman. So Section 3 of this Act says about prohibition of employment of children in certain occupations and processes. A is right answer. Next question. Whom does the part to amend the schedule lie with? Chief Inspector, Occupier, State Government and Central Government. So here the power vested with the central government to amend the schedule. So answer D is right. In order to add any occupation or process in the schedule, the central government shall give notice in the official gazette of not less than what? There are 4 options: 1 month, 2 months, 3 months and 4 months. Obviously 3 months is right. Answer C is right. Another question is, which section of this Act details about the hours and period of work? Here Section 7, 8, 9, 10. Section 7 is very apt because Section 7 says about the hours and period of work of the children. A is right answer. The period of work of a child under this Act shall not exceed 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, none of this. Yeah, if you are giving the employment to a child continuously, you should not give for 3 hours. After 3 hours, you can give some rest. So totally 6 hours you can employ the children. So the period of work of the child under this Act shall not exceed 3 hours. A is the right answer. A break of at least what shall be given to the child as per section for hours and period of work under the Act. If the child is working, how many minutes or how many hours you can provide the break for the child? Here the options are 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Here B is the right answer. Exactly, you can give 1 hour time as a break. B is right. Another question is, spread over for work of a child shall not exceed dash hours as per the Child Labor Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. So here we can give 1 hour time for break and 3 hours after 3 hours after that we need to give 1 hour for a break for a child. Then you can continue the employment. So here the options 5, 6, 7, 9. So already I have said B is right answer. 6 hours, totally 6 hours including the break time and waiting time, etc. So child shall not exceed 6 hours as per this act. The spread over for the work of a child. Which section of the Act details out the provisions related to health and safety under Act? Section 11, 12, 13, 14. So here C is right. Section 13 says about the health and safety of the children. Then which of the following is not objective of the Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act bill proposed by the Second National Commission on Labour? So second NCL says about some of the objectives. So here the options are there. So which one is not the objective of Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act? Let us see. First one, to ensure that no child would be deprived of a future being deprived of education. So education is must for the future benefit of the child. Yeah, that is the objective. Then second is to ensure children not to work in situation where they are exploited. Yes, the children should not be exploited. That is the second thing, that also objective. Then third one, to prohibit child labor in all employment irrespective of their coverage under the existing act. So C is not the objective. Let's see another also, to tackle the problem of child labor by ensuring universal education. So fourth also objective. So C is not the objective because in certain industry the child will not allowed to work. Answer C is right. This is not the objective of this act. Which section of Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986 details about penalties? So which section says about the penalties? Section 12, 13, 14 and 15. For section 14 says about the penalties. Then section 16, what it says? Penalties, procedure relating to offences, appointment of inspectors, part to make rules. Yeah, B is right. Procedure relating to offences. So section 16 of this act says about the procedure relating to offences. B is right. Then the notice to inspector, as mentioned in section 9 of this act, shall be sent within how many days of the employment of the children and commencement of this act with respect to that particular establishment. Yeah, here 30 days is right. Answer D is right. Another question is, to whom shall the case be initially referred by the inspector in case of any question regarding age of child permitted to work in an establishment? The four options are tribunal, police commissioner, chief inspector, prescribed medical authority. So fourth, D is right answer. Prescribed medical authority shall the case be initially referred by the inspector in case of any questions regarding the age of the child permitted to work in an establishment. Last question. The International Convention on the Rights of Child was adopted by the General Assembly in which date? 20th November 1989, 12th December 1990, 26th January 1995, 15th August 1999. So A is right answer, 20th November 1989. That's all. Thank you for watching. Thank you, friends. Take care. Bye bye.